how do you know that if you couldn't, you wouldn't fuck Kim Kardashian? How do you know that you wouldn't do that? You don't know that you wouldn't do that. How do you know that you wouldn't rush the stage with a Hennessy bottle when Taylor Swift wins over Beyonce? Because you know in your heart that that's bullshit. Because you know that you're passionate enough to know that Taylor Swift is not a better artist than Beyonce, right? How do you know that because you wouldn't rail against this fashion industry, even though secretly you want to be accepted by the fashion industry? How do you know that you wouldn't do that? And that's the reason why I think people still love Kanye West. Days here, man. We lost some audio back in March on Kanye West. Are we ready to have that conversation?
Oh, I'll leave, bro. I'll leave and come back.
No, because if we're not ready to have that convo, we don't have to have it. But we had this convo back in March, and for whatever reason, we lost that audio in Discord. And this doesn't necessarily have to relate to current events. But the only question that I want to ask y'all here is, when it comes to art and the appreciation of someone's art and craft and what they are contributing to their field, whether it be movies, music, comic books, sports, whatever, right? Where do you draw the line between what someone is doing as an artist and who they are as a person? Because with Kanye West, I feel like in my lifetime, I didn't live through Vincent Van Gogh. I didn't live through, you know what I'm saying, guys like Prince and Michael Jackson. We lived during their time, but we didn't live through when they were relevant. Madonna, any of these artists that might have been polarizing or made an impact. But Kanye West is the guy that we experienced from where he started to where he is now. Where do you draw the line between who a person is and what they contribute to their field of art and their genre? And is it possible with Kanye West?
But before we get to that, I just want to give a quick shout out to Primetime Fry, who's been with us since the whole time. He says, "Great convo, guys. I've been here since the beginning of our fun."
Major salute, man. You 3.5 hours in. Big shout
3 hours in, bro. I'm glad. Shout out to you, Primetime Fry, man.
Full disclosure, when it comes to Kanye West, I missed 99 to 08, so I didn't experience what happened in the States with his rise, so I have no emotional attachment to Kanye West.
I wish I could say
I have zero emotional attachment to Kanye West.
I wish that I could say that.
And that's what I found is that's what it is. Everyone is very attached to him because of what he's done. But I believe when it comes to artistry, it stops at your product. Anything outside of your product, you should be judged like any other citizen.
Straight down the middle, bro. That's a fastball straight over the plate, man.
But we don't do that. We don't separate that. We do. We do separate the art from the artists. We do. Because some of the things that we celebrities, artists do, we would like blast and roast your no average day person or woman. But a celebrity can do it, an actor, entertainer, musician, whatever, they can do it, and we give them the forgiveness because we like their art. So we do separate it.
Okay. So this is where I this is where it gets dicey. Y'all mentioned that the question I asked about the culture war was a little dicey. This is where it gets dicey for me personally, right? Because I love hip hop. I love hip hop. And I feel as though hip hop as a culture and as an industry are two different things. The hip hop industry is a part of the music industry, which is a branch of the entertainment industry, which is something that is very scary, horrifying. There are things that have happened in that industry to people that have led people to doing things that I couldn't imagine, that would make your average person's skin crawl, right? So on one end of it, I think we have a very idealistic view of hip hop because it is a culture that is a part of an industry, right? So in one way or another, hip hop represents being the underdog. It represents coming from nothing and becoming something. It represents so many things that lead into the American dream for us as Black people, even if the product is counterproductive in some certain respects, right? And I don't want to get philosophical because I want to keep this based on this topic here. With Kanye West, I think his major selling point was being undesirable and unmarketable in an industry that was ruled by quote unquote gangster rap.
Okay.
The type of music that was portraying a lifestyle that he could never live. The type of music that was portrayed by characters that he can never be. Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, Tupac, Biggie, Jay-Z, just to name a couple. DMX, Mobb Deep, Wu-Tang, right? Kanye West couldn't be further removed from what those guys were portraying on wax in their music, right? But the thing that I think we fucked up on as consumers is assuming that just because that guy isn't the other guys, that he's the good guy. Early on, the biggest thing that he had in his favor was marketing himself as being the good guy amidst all of these other stereotypes and archetypes that corporate America were selling as what was believed to be what fit into Black culture. Kanye West was the counterculture to all of that.
True.
With the way he dressed, with the way he rapped, with the beats that he was making, he was marketed as the guy that nobody wanted. When in reality, he was just as arrogant and just as much as an asshole as some of these gangster rappers were. You fast forward 20 years later, and now you see his impact on the industry, and it's like, yo, was he really the good guy all along? Would any member of Wu-Tang ever say that slavery was a choice?
No.
Would DMX ever wear a t-shirt that said white lives matter?
No.
Would Jay-Z or Tupac ever shake hands with Donald Trump?
No.
And wear a red hat that says "Make America Great Again"? Would Biggie Smalls ever say some of the things that Kanye West said?
Hell no.
But were any of these artists, with the exception of Jay-Z, more successful than Kanye West is?
No.
They weren't commercially. I mean, I don't know. You can go into the arts all you want. Commercially, no.
All right, so let's just back up here, right? 50 Cent sold 10 million records with his first debut album. And in 2007, him and Kanye West went head to head and dropped their albums on the same day. And he got smoked by Kanye West when he dropped Graduation.
Which he knew, but he used it as a ploy to get more sales.
That's because 50 Cent is a genius. But whatever. So what are we talking about here with Kanye West? are we able to make a separation between the appreciation that we have for his craft as an artist and who he is as a person? Or do we not know enough about him as a person to where is this kind of Dave Chappelle effect where you take some of it with a grain of salt and understand that this is entertainment?
It's almost like, do you judge him because he's different now rather than what he was before? Is he the same person 20 years ago? A lot of people change over years. No one's really the same over time. $1 billion would make anyone change.
Oh,
to a certain degree.
But it was before that, right?
There's not a lot of billionaires in the world. There's not a lot of billionaire artists in the world.
Right.
This was before he became a billionaire.
Right.
Well, the cracks were shown before he reached a billion.
yeah, I agree.
Is the same guy that said George Bush doesn't care about black people in response to Hurricane Katrina.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the same guy that's shaking hands with Donald Trump and wearing a shirt that says WLM?
No,
No.
it's not. Even though I don't think so. I don't think that was.
It felt like, and this is again me missing that middle.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like the beginning of what he was doing, though it felt super authentic. We don't have to get into whether he wrote his raps or not,
Oh,
but
no, that's neither here or there. That's neither here or there.
so we'll stay out of that. But wasn't that the mask? The backpack, wasn't that the mask?
Ooh.
Didn't he just take the backpack off?
Yep, absolutely, he did. I agree because the veil, and Charles, that's a great point because in the early 2000s, backpack rap was considered the alternative to mainstream hip hop, and he was the guy that bridged the gap because our favorite mainstream rap artists were rapping over beats made by Kanye West.
Sure.
That's a great point there. And that can't go understated. That's an excellent point. But the part where I think the disconnect comes at is some of this a work? Does he believe that slavery was a choice? Is he wearing a shirt that says WLM because that's really the way he feels, or because he knows that's going to get people to be like, oh my God, I don't like Kanye West.
But that's the part that sucks because it's like
you don't know.
He doesn't believe it, but he weighs how will if he even considers us his people, how will this affect? I mean, that's the issue, right? He's one of the OJ. He's not black. He's Kanye West. Is this? I mean, I thought this was right. That's what Kanye. He's not black. He's yay.
I agree.
I'm not black. I'm yay.
He's yay. So
when you got $800 sneakers,
yeah, $800 sneakers. I can put my clothes in a trash bag or a construction bag. You know, because it's his art. Because
art has
I
no
thought
color.
he really wanted to. I don't know. He has a very. It works. It works.
I mean, he got to $1 billion for a reason, right?
It works.
Not everyone can do it.
It works. And that's the interesting thing, right? Because we always go to that, the money. If Kanye, God forbid, if Kanye passed tomorrow, 10 years from now, what would he be remembered for? Because I don't think it will be his sneakers.
No.
It'd be the music. It'd be how we felt.
Okay.
So has he contaminated that?
Controversial figure.
Wait. Hold on. Let's back up here. I'm sorry, Donovan. Ask that question again, Charles.
Do you think he's contaminated his classic music?
No. Sales would increase. The showcase. Any artist that passes away, their portfolio goes tenfold higher.
Listen, what did Jadakiss say? He said dead rappers get better promotion.
Yes.
That's true.
But
all be forgiven, and we would say we celebrate him for the conflicted person he would be.
But see,
That's it.
So people are just gonna go back to graduation and just forget everything else?
Yep.
There's
You
a
know
part
that
of
with
it.
Eminem too?
Oh man. But
That's
see,
sticky.
but that's the part of it that I think that's the part of it that hip hop hasn't addressed yet, right? My brother pointed this out to me when that documentary on Netflix came out. And he said this about Kanye West, and he said this about Dr. Dre as well. They don't make hip hop music anymore. You can't judge what they do as artists and put them in the box of hip hop. They make music on the level of Beethoven and Mozart. Even if your critical music scholars don't look at it like that, for our time, that's the way that you have to judge it. You can't judge what Dr. Dre does now and compare it to what he did on the Chronic album because he's so far removed from the lifestyle he was living on the Chronic album. What Kanye West is doing now doesn't appeal to me. What was his last album called? I don't even know what it's called.
Donda.
I didn't listen to that. I listened to one song off of that because Andre 3000 was rapping his ass off on Life of the Party.
That was the feature,
It was. Andre 3000 damn near like brought a tear to my eye with that verse he rapped on that song. But I don't view what he does as hip hop anymore.
But Uncle Jack.
Yes, sir.
And I don't want to lose this.
No, you got it.
That goes back to what we spoke about earlier. Why isn't the Chronic considered on the level of Beethoven or Mozart? What reason? Why not?
You know what?
Why not?
To be honest with you, Charles, it should be. It should be. And I'll back up there. The only reason I say in 2022, I think it definitely is.
Yeah.
In the time that it came out, hip hop as a genre was viewed as discount music. Like people didn't know how talented Dr. Dre was as a producer and as a curator of music to where their ears weren't tuned into what he was doing as a producer and getting people like Snoop Dogg to write his music and getting people like Nate Dogg to sing over him playing live instruments and him sampling the music that he was sampling on that album. So yes, to me, I think that everything that Dr. Dre has done is on that level of what music scholars would do. But it took so long because hip hop is so young as a genre of music to where now, 30 years later, people recognize it as such. Kanye West, because he's young enough, he's looked at as what some of that was in his time. Dr. Dre is probably the greatest producer of music ever, in my opinion, but we can talk about that later on. But the only question I just want to ask y'all here is I think he's a very polarizing figure. And you said, does it taint graduation, late registration, and college dropout? To me, yes, I think that it does. Donovan, you disagree with that?
I mean, does it really in the end, like, I don't know. You know, we watch films, right, with actors who wouldn't fuck with us, right?
Yep.
Done committed some things that are questionable. I mean, I think we really do. I'll be honest, we make the exception for art. We do. Any other person would say, fuck you. You know what I'm saying? We was like literally spit in their face. Your common Joe Schmo at Walmart would be like, oh, hell no. You know what I mean? But because they make art, because it's a sound, it's a visual, it's whatever that we enjoy, we make an exception. And I don't know, it's just human nature. So we'll do it.
Crazy.
Is it something? My bad, Donovan. Go ahead.
I mean, say what you want about R. Kelly, but you put that joint on in a public gathering. What happens? Everybody knows what happens.
Step in the name of love.
What happens? You'll have. I'll talk shit. I'll be like, "Hey, turn that shit off." But guess what?
Round. Step in the name of love. That's a damn shame. So, does it expose something within us? Does Kanye West, is he the representation of who we would all be if we were successful in our art?
No,
I wouldn't say all, but
good amount.
If you average person get $1 billion, who the fuck knows what they're gonna do? $1 billion.
What would stop you from turning
Before,
into
though.
Kanye West?
This is before.
Oh,
We're
you
talking
said,
about what? This Beyonce? Is this the big? Was that the beginning?
When he,
Beyonce at the
when
best
he,
video
when he
of all
went on
time.
stage with the Henny bottle?
Was that the
When he went on-
beginning? He was
I
going to
think-
500,000 then.
I mean,
So
I think that
300.
I'm trying to think here, man. On College
That's-
Dropout, on College Dropout, on Last Call, what did he say, man? What did he say on that song? He said, what the fuck did he say? He said, every motherfucker told me that I couldn't rhyme. So should I take this? What did he say, man? He said something about like, should I
Being
take this
underdog.
as a blow to my self-esteem or use my arrogance as esteem to power my dream? Like, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Use my arrogance as the steam to power my dream. Come on, bro. Like, I feel like like he was telling you who he was from day one. The presentation of it is that he was somebody that you should root for. I don't think he ever presented himself as a good person. I think
There was a line.
You
That stuck
think
with me.
Jesus walks?
No,
The,
but that's
the workout, the workout,
Yeah.
the workout.
Yeah, I'm about to say,
song?
exactly.
Hold on,
Exactly.
but this is why I say that though. This is why I say that, right?
Jesus walks.
No, but this is the reason. Go ahead.
Jesus walks isn't like a good thing. It's a God. He's a God figure.
Right.
Turn
This is,
himself to a God figure.
this is the reason this is the reason I say that though. Like, again, that's music. He is making music. There's a feeling that you get from the music that he is making. He's not really giving you details into who he is when he makes Jesus Walks. That's music that's meant to give you a feeling as opposed to identifying with the actual artist.
But the
Kanye
lyrics you
West.
just said gave you insight to what he was.
Say what?
Sure.
The arrogance, the lyricism.
Okay.
Yeah, you gotta put yourself in the song. You know what I mean? Like, to a certain degree.
I mean, this is
I
what
think-
I'm saying though. He said on All Falls Down, I bought a Jacob watch before I bought a house, and I'll do it again because I want to be on 106 in Park pushing the Benz. I want to act all terrific because it's all authentic. We all self-conscious. I'm just the first to admit it. I'm telling you, whoa, when it
There you
all
go.
falls down.
So it's interesting because actors, or I said actors, artists all have this. They have an identity in their music that they play.
Yes.
Cole, Kendrick, Drake, they all have an identity, but it's one identity. It's one.
Yes.
And he has like 4.
5, 10.
Yes. He's
Right?
like, his bipolar is bipolar.
Yeah.
Like,
So how
I
does the
remember
same?
there's a line
Mhm.
that stuck with me about the girl he was with that I promise I'm going to marry your daughter. And I'm like, damn, bro, this guy don't married like 3 times since then. This is fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's that part that I mean. Like, it's stuff like that is like, you're selling this authenticity.
But it's not authentic.
It's not. But you're selling that it was. You know
So-
what I mean? Like,
So to the guy, like
are we the
me,
mark? Are we the mark, Uncle Jack?
Absolutely. Absolutely. 100%. I'm not gonna deny it. Like when I was in 7th grade and on the intro to College Dropout, he said if we weren't supposed to make it past 35, the joke's on you, we still alive. Throw your hands up in the sky and say, we don't care what people say. Like, bro, I was there. I was like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is the craziest shit to me right here. This man said Ralph Lauren was boring before I wore it. When we were all wearing polo before we knew who Kanye West was. But after he said it, people believed it.
It's true.
So where do we is okay, how because we've been here since day one in this journey, are we entitled to feel away when we see him wear a WLM t-shirt? Like at what point do we just turn the TV off, turn the volume down, and just decide I'm not even gonna be mad at this no more? This is a work. How can the same guy that put out an album called Jesus is King and then his very next album, You know what I'm saying? Like, he spit a verse on Pusha T's. He said on that song Easy with Game that he was going to kick Pete Davis's ass, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
My life was never easy.
On Pusha T's album, he said, when daddy's not home, the family's in danger.
So, okay. So here's the problem. So we ignored the White Lives Matter thing, right? Kanye just working. What happened when he gets on and he's crying about his kids? Do we ignore it? He's working. We just turn it off? So we just ignore him altogether?
I don't know.
Why be selective about it?
Hold on, we got a comment here.
It's got to be in general. Hip hop artists will in time be on the level of Beethoven because Rick James, Mary Janice played in the True. It's time, right?
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah.
It is time.
Good point, prime time, Fry. Good point.
We can have that conversation later on, man.
That's a heavy one.
But go ahead, Charles. Keep going, bro.
No, it's true. So is it? It's more of the selective nature of Kanye being Kanye.
Mm-hmm.
Why? When do you turn it off? Is it you leave it on or?
I don't know.
It's on. It's like. And I listen to Joe Budden talk about it a little bit. It's like when he wants like our help, he's like, "Hey, discrimination," and then another point when he doesn't, it's like WLM. You know what I mean?
And guess what? We still don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
If we were gonna care, we would have cared when he was wearing the red hat, right?
Right.
But he became a billionaire after wearing the red hat. So when does the capping stop? When do we stop the cap, bro? I haven't liked a Kanye West album objectively since graduation. The last Kanye West album I listened to from beginning to end was Life of Pablo. And I didn't like it. Jesus is King was okay, but
I dug that one.
It was cool, but like I didn't listen to Donda.
No, I didn't really listen too much to Donda.
So what are we doing here? Like, what is the actual conversation that we're gonna have? At what point do we give up the connection? Right? Is that possible? I don't think it's possible.
No, because it's art. You can't.
There you go.
You won't let it go. You won't let it go. You're not gonna let it go. Despite how many times you're gonna tell your mind to do it,
nope.
You're not gonna do it.
It ain't gonna happen.
That joint come on the radio. I bet you won't change it. Come on Spotify. You're not gonna. You might hit skip a few times, but you're gonna catch yourself. It's gonna play one time.
So what are we doing here? Like, what are we doing? Like, because when he went on stage and took that microphone from Taylor Swift, that should have been it, right? For white America, that should have been it.
That's true. When are they gonna quit? Kanye West.
Not for a while.
Maybe we can negotiate. Maybe we can take turns.
It should have been it when he did that, and that was over a decade ago. And when he did that, I was like,
and wait, are we going to just trade him back and forth?
Yeah, maybe we'll do joint custody.
And when he did that, I was like, yo, like this dude here with the Henny bottle, he on stage with a bottle of Hennessy, like.
Jeez.
So what do we like? At the end of the day,
is it one of those cases we just best leave it alone? It's just
I think so. Now on the flip side,
you don't acknowledge it.
No, I agree. I think so. Like at this point, everything that Kanye, we got to look at it as all the work. I think we got to treat it. I think we're reaching that Andy Kaufman, Jerry Lawler territory where the work, he got so deep into the character to where we can't treat it as anything else but entertainment.
Because this won't be the last time we'll have this convo. Next year,
no, it won't. It won't.
Next year will be the same combos. Excuse me, over and over and over again.
But the mistake that we made was thinking it was real to begin with. It was always the work.
You think he's deliberate? He's intentional in his acts?
I think this was his plan all along.
I don't think he's that smart.
Elaborate.
I don't think he was that smart.
I just don't think he's that smart. he doesn't come off. He's full. I mean, even the music is all passion. He's a very passionate person. Even his style, it's all passion. It's feeling. It's he doesn't seem like intentional in his acts. I think it's passionate. The White Lives Matter thing. And the thing is that he prioritizes his passion over what anybody thinks of him. Like, he's a selfish person. He doesn't really care. He's selfish. Where's my Grammy? Like, from the beginning, he's been passionate. It's just, it's
Nikes and Adidas are screwing me over.
Yeah,
buy my shoes.
It's just completely out of control, though.
Right,
He's not in our reality anymore.
I get what you're saying. He railed against the industry for being discriminatory, the fashion industry, while wanting to get into that same industry to make money off of the people that didn't want him in that industry. Okay, I'm tracking. I'm putting down. I'm picking up what you put down. I'm tracking.
100%. He's passionate. He's a very passionate person. It's out of his control, though.
Which part is out of his control?
His passion, I think.
Okay.
I think it doesn't. He doesn't live in a realm. You don't say things like slavery was a choice.
Right.
When wasn't his mom a Black Panther? What?
She was a conscious woman, from what I heard.
And she's not here, so no one to slap him upside his head.
So just to kind of wrap this up here, I guess, does the music currently reflect the same quality? Because I feel like the music hasn't been up to that same standard.
I would agree. I think Graduation and Late Registration, that all falls down with Lauryn Hill. All of that is, and I'd love that to be considered on that level, like, because it is. I think it is. Everybody listens to it. They just don't want to give it its accolades.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So yeah, yep. I don't think any of his stuff is as good as those first 3 albums, personally.
No. My bad. Go ahead, brother.
I don't know if it's possible, if it ever will be. Maybe the time, the era, but I don't think it is. Same thing with like a lot of other rappers as well, but definitely with him.
Does Kanye West ever perform at the Super Bowl? Does that ever happen?
Stronger?
I can see it.
Oh, has it happened or will it happen?
No. Will Kanye West ever be the headlining act at the Super Bowl? I think it's gonna happen.
I think he can do it.
Within the next 10 years?
Unless Jay-Z doesn't.
Next 10 to 5, I could see that happening. Most definitely.
Man,
we had The Weeknd, we had Dr. Dre, M50, we have Rihanna now. Why not?
So,
if he wanted it.
I don't think he would do it.
You don't think he would do it himself?
I think he would turn that down.
What, to go to the World Cup? Like, I mean,
where else you gonna go that's bigger than that?
And this is the thing, right? I said this in the Discord. I think the greatest heel turn in the history of entertainment is Kanye West. To me, that's the greatest heel turn in the history of the entertainment industry.
Right.
But the only thing is, there's just a part of it that feels like we can't turn away from it. We can't completely detach ourselves from that, because there's a feeling of, if that was you, how do you know you would do something different? How do you know? And part of my language here, right? And I'm just saying this hypothetically speaking. How do you know that if you couldn't, you wouldn't fuck Kim Kardashian? How do you know that you wouldn't do that? You don't know that you wouldn't do that.
Stop the cap.
And that's neither here or there. That's neither here or there. That's neither here or there. And I'm just saying this hypothetically speaking. How do you know that you wouldn't rush the stage with a Hennessy bottle when Taylor Swift wins over Beyonce? Because you know in your heart that that's bullshit. Because you know that you're passionate enough to know that Taylor Swift is not a better artist than Beyonce, right? How do you know that because you can, you wouldn't rail against this fashion industry, even though secretly you want to be accepted by the fashion industry? How do you know that you wouldn't do that? And that's the reason why I think people still love Kanye West. It's not whether you like him or that you don't like him. There's a part of everybody that still devotes time to listen to his music and invest in him as a character, to where it's like, you know what? I got something in common with him. I didn't sell crack. Kanye is a modern day Marvel music. Okay, go ahead, man. There you go. Right? I've never sold crack before. I don't want to know what it's like to sell crack. Right? Not for nothing, we know people who have sold crack. Kanye West made music for rappers that sold crack. He was peripheral enough to the real culture to where he could tell us about it and we could relate to it. You know what I'm saying? The backpack was a fucking mask, bro. It was a facade, man. We should have never believed it was real, dog. That's my last thought on that.
He was a bad guy all along.
Absolutely. Heisenberg, bro.
Say my
He was
fucking
definitely a
name.
Heisenberg.
The hip hop Heisenberg. That I
And
might
it's all-
have named the
You
damn
might need to coin that.
Kanye
No,
West, the hip hop Heisenberg.
Yeah, bro. And that's all I got, bro. That's all I got.
Yeah, man.
I'm glad we got to talk about that, man.
That's good shit, man. That's good shit. I'm about to do a buddy, man. He don't even want to talk about hip hop anymore. I'm like, yo, I'm
Listen.
with him.
Hey, nah, bro. Like, I can't not. I'm sorry, bro. I can't not talk.